Julie Hartigan, welcome to my living room.
Hello, thanks for having me. Welcome to my kitchen.
Oh, happy to be in your kitchen. I will never again take for granted having takeout and restaurants because it's tough cooking every meal every day.
I know it really is. I'm really feeling for the moms, the working moms and dads who are home and they've got to suddenly not just cook for themselves every day, but they've got to make lunch for everybody. It's like insane. Like the dishes are piling up. And, if anything, honestly, as a chef and a healthy cooking expert, recipe creator, I've really just been trying to jump on to be helpful to people and be like, okay, guys, here's what you can make that's fast, easy, delicious. Here's how to streamline your cooking prep. We all have enough stress going on. Cooking, I'm hoping, is something I can at least help people like lighten their load a little bit with.
Absolutely. Well, we're going to talk about that today because I know you brought over some cooking tips with
Mhm.
some things that you can find in your pantry. So let's hear them.
Exactly. Yeah. I've kind of been breaking it down into like 5 key pantry cooking tips for people. And these are intended to give you guys ways to avoid multiple trips to the supermarket because even for me personally, I get stressed out. I'm trying not to go out and it's hard to get ingredients or food delivered sometimes because everyone's so busy. So these are great ways to make your fresh food, especially your healthy veggies and proteins, last longer. And then some really easy ideas, like I said, for work from home lunches, for pantry dinners and things like that. So the first tip, I think the thing, everyone probably ran out or stocked themselves up on things like pasta and rice and cereal and crackers and all of those kinds of things. And those are going to last all the way through. But when it comes to eating your veggies and trying to stick with eating somewhat healthy, this is going to go on for a while. Like, I think for the first week or two, it was like, okay, pasta every day. But now we all realize, like, okay, I have to get back to kind of still eating really well. So something I encourage everyone to do when you're picking up veggies is to buy things that you can eat raw or cooked. So a good example of that would be baby kale or baby spinach instead of like romaine lettuce, because you can enjoy it shredded up in a salad, but then when it starts to get a little wilted and sad towards the end of the week, you can cook it. And something I've been telling people to do too, things like peppers, tomatoes, mushrooms, these are all veggies that you can enjoy raw in a salad or saute or roast or whatever to put in a cooked item. But here's what I've been doing. And Lisa, I keep joking that my grandma helped teach me how to cook. And I always joke that I have like mad grandma skills when it comes to like stretching things in the kitchen. It's kind of hilarious, but here's a good tip. And this is something I've been doing. I didn't get my butt to the store fast enough to like clean out the freezer case. Like, I don't know who those lucky people were, but by the time I got there were no frozen veggies or anything left. So I'm telling people to just DIY their own. So buy the veggies fresh, right? Enjoy them raw. So this is sliced peppers and onions and mushrooms that I just sauteed in a little bit of olive oil and garlic. Throw them in freezer baggies, little sandwich baggies like this in individual portions. So what's great about this, you're going to have something healthy to pull out of the freezer. It'll defrost in like a minute in your microwave in a bowl or in a pan. You can add it to eggs. You could add it to some chopped chicken. You could add it to some soup. So it's just a really easy way to stretch your veggies longer and to have things prepped in the freezer ready to bust out when you need to make a fast meal.
I love that.
And along with that, honestly, when it comes to proteins, those are the other things that spoil. Oh wait, I have one more veggie tip.
Oh, yeah.
I did this one the other day. Everyone's making soups, right? It's like such a great comforting thing and it stretches a while, it freezes. You can actually dice up in a food processor I'll hold it up so everyone can see, your onion, your carrot, and your celery. That's pretty much the base to any yummy soup or any stew. And once it's minced up in the food processor, I threw it in a container right in the freezer. So these will freeze really well raw. You don't even have to cook them. So if you're going to make a soup, what I encourage people to do is just prep a little bit extra of the veggies and then throw them in a container in your freezer. So a week or two from now, you don't have to go through all that prep again. You just take it out and you're ready to start your soup or your stew. And with proteins, we did a really fun cooking segment, you guys, earlier, like feels like a year ago now. It was
I
a
know.
old recipe. So
We'll do it
yeah,
again
so
when we are back open for business,
I
hopefully.
know, guys, life will get back to normal eventually. It'll be like, who knows? Anyway, we won't go there. So when it comes to protein, that's the other thing, right? You do get yourself some like ground beef or ground turkey or chicken breast or something like that. That spoils quickly too. And if you don't want to keep going out to the store and you want to make it stretch longer, I always encourage people, instead of taking the package and just throwing it straight in the freezer where it turns into like a rock hard block and then it takes a while to defrost, to go ahead and cook that protein now, but cook it in something liquid so that you can put some in the freezer. So I'll give you an example. I had some ground turkey breast. I sauteed it just with some garlic and onion and plain tomato sauce. And that way, I froze it in sizes that made sense for the people I'm cooking for. So if you're cooking for one or two, you don't want to freeze like a 10-gallon thing of chili, because then it's going to take days to defrost, and then you're kind of stuck eating the same thing for 10 days in a row. So what you can do instead is cook your meat in something. Everything in liquid freezes better. It won't get all dried out and freezer burnt. That's why like soups and stews and things do come out of the freezer really well. And by cooking it in a neutral way, you can use it in a few different ways when you take it out. So something in like tomato, onion, and garlic, you could totally add black beans, corn, some taco seasoning, and turn it into a chili to put on rice. Or you could add some more garlic, some dried basil, some Parmesan, and put it on pasta and make it into more of like a bolognese. So I don't want people to feel like they have to make this one recipe and be stuck eating the same thing. This is just a good way to kind of multi-purpose your lean ground meats. And when it comes to chicken breast, what I've been doing, I think I posted it in my Instagram story last night, actually. I've been poaching chicken breast just in some broth. You could poach it in, and even canned soup, honestly, if you have no broth, you could poach it in water and onion and garlic. And to poach chicken breast, you just simmer it covered until it's firm and white. You'll see when you take a fork, you can pull it apart. And then you just shred it. People shred it using their kitchen mixers, like you would use to make a cake in a bowl. People do it in a blender. You can use 2 forks if you don't even want to deal. But then what I do is I freeze that in small containers in some of the broth. So that way your chicken is cooked, it's ready to bust out and eat for a meal later on, and it's not going to dry out in your freezer. You could freeze it, like if you're just cooking for 1 or 2, freeze it in a small container. Again, so like one night you pull out your ground turkey that you have cooked, you add spices, you've got chili. One night you pull out your chicken, you add that to a stir fry. That way you always have something ready to go that's healthy and you're not bored. So
yeah, that's so great.
Those are some of my main tips there. Another one, I'm like checking because I have all these fun things. You guys, I've been doing a little mini cooking show on my own called Florentine Kitchen. I'm here in Hoboken, New Jersey. And I've been here for like 2.5 weeks now. We were one of the first towns in Jersey to say, like, let's everybody stay at home. So 3 days a week, I've been going live Monday, Wednesday, Friday on Instagram at Cooking W Julie. You can join it on YouTube, Cooking W Julie, or Facebook, Cooking W Julie. And I post the episodes after. So if you're busy at 5 p.m., you can go back and you can watch all the older ones too. And I take questions. So I'm trying to like share as many easy ideas with people as I can to help them through this. Another one that I absolutely love, and I always use these anyway for my own work from home lunches and things, are eggs. And I think people don't always think of eggs like they think, oh, I can make a scrambled egg for my breakfast. But something I love to do all the time for a healthy lunch is just saute some veggies. You could use things like canned diced tomatoes, canned chickpeas, not that that's a veggie, but you could add that to the pan. You could add some roasted peppers, things like that. And then you just crack an egg on top. They call it shakshuka. I don't know, Lisa, have you ever had shakshuka?
No.
When you've gone out to eat? It's a Middle Eastern dish. It's actually Middle Eastern slang for like mixture or stew, and it's yummy any time of day. Now, they usually do it with a tomato base kind of to the stew that you crack the egg on, but you can do it. I've done it with like sauteed shredded Brussels sprouts and spinach and mushroom, and then you just crack the egg, let it simmer there for 2 or 3 minutes. And oh my gosh, I don't know about you, Lisa, are you an egg fan?
I love it every day.
With the runny yolk, yum, right? And it's like, and to me, honestly, we all need that kind of fast, easy, healthy comfort food. Doing egg skillet dishes like that is a great way to use up little bits that you have in the fridge. You could add some bacon to that, some chopped, like pre-cooked, chicken sausage. You could add any vegetable, things from the pantry. You could make it more Tex-Mex if you did like black bean and corn and salsa. You could just use jarred salsa to saute together and then just crack the eggs on and simmer it. And that's a really fast meal. And then the other one, and Lisa, this is what we made together. I'm obsessed with grain bowls and making bowl recipes for myself. And again, guys, if you're cooking for one or cooking for a crew, I actually just posted in my Instagram story last night. I have 2 daughters, and I made dinner for all of us. And the thing that's cool about bowl recipes, I posted this one. I think I called it a turkey taco bowl. It's at Cooking W Julie on Instagram. You put out all the ingredients that would make sense together. Like say in that case, it was some sauteed ground turkey, some brown rice, some corn, some black beans, some roasted or chopped up veggies. And then you can let everyone make their own bowl. So for the moms out there who are making lunch and dinner for a whole crew and everyone has different tastes, it's a good way to let everyone put their own dish together. So it takes a little bit of a load off of you. And if you're working from home, or now that you're working from home, it's also a really fast, easy lunch for yourself. You just go in the fridge and whatever those items are that you had prepped from dinner, you can just take a little bit and make your own bowl and use it, enjoy it either warm or cold. So I really think bowl recipes and grain bowls, and my gosh, you could use, I did an episode of the Quarantine Kitchen show about that. You could use cooked lentils in a bowl, rice, couscous, wheat berries. I usually go 1/3 grain, 1/3 veggie, and 1/3 bean. And then if you do have cooked protein, great. You can put different sauces on top, salad dressing or, hummus, whatever you have. So that's another really good one. What was my last one? Oh, I have one more healthy cooking tip to share with you guys. When it comes to eating things straight from the pantry, let's say you are in a pasta rut and you're really and I love pasta. I'm Italian. I love it. But at a point we're okay, let's also make sure we're putting healthy food in our bodies too, stretching out the pasta, and to give yourself a nice big portion, keep it healthy. I love adding a vegetable component to my pasta dishes. So I posted a recipe. It's on my Instagram if anyone wants to check it out. It's a 1-pan cacio e pepe, which I'm obsessed with. And that, by the way, it's 3 ingredients. And I'm pretty sure everyone, Lisa, you should totally try it. It's
yeah, totally.
Super easy. But, it's definitely it's filling, it's yummy, it's substantial. But if you are watching, your carbs and you're trying to keep to somewhat of a healthy diet, what I've been recommending is to make something like that yummy 1-pan cacio e pepe, but then maybe add in some roasted diced butternut squash or some roasted broccoli, or serve it with some tossed in veggie noodles, if you get some spiralized zucchini or some spiralized anything. So that way you're enjoying your pasta, but part of the serving is a veggie serving too. So that way you're kind of balancing your diet out.
Wow. Where do you get these ideas from?
I guess I always loved food and cooking my entire life. Even as a little kid, I always hung out, like I said earlier, behind my grandma, watching her cook, behind any friends of grandma, watching what they were making. And I actually was an engineer for the first part of my career. So I don't know if you knew that. I'm an industrial engineer. Yeah. So I spent 12, 13 years doing tech consulting. But the thing that's interesting, the type of engineer I am or was is all about streamlining things and making things more efficient. So I combined with that, so while I was an engineer and consulting, I've always lived in Hoboken since college. I would be helping friends open restaurants and catering events and things. And I finally made the leap and went to culinary school when my daughters were born, because I was why am I traveling and stressed out and in a career I don't enjoy? I'm going to throw myself at the world that I love. So for me, coming up with streamlined, fun, healthy recipes is just what I love. It's truly what I love to share. So what I do for a living now is create recipes and do videos and things for people like Weight Watchers or Bed Bath & Beyond or Real Simple Magazine, Shape Magazine, Beachbody Fitness, a lot of companies that people might have heard of. And on my own, if you guys check out my website, I have a free cookbook too that you guys might love right now, especially. It's 10 healthy meals in under 20 minutes. So it's all super fast, short ingredient list, all healthy and fun. My tagline is where happy meets healthy. So it's that, how do you enjoy food and enjoy life in a healthy way without feeling that heaviness about sticking to a healthy diet?
Yeah. So has quarantine given you extra inspiration?
Yeah, for sure. I'm trying to think. Honestly, if anything, it's I feel it's bringing back some of the things that my grandma taught me. I mean, I don't know how many people had grandparents who squirreled things away in the fridge, little nuggets and little bits. It's definitely keeping me from getting rid of anything. I had found the other day, this was one that I was just what can I do my Quarantine Kitchen episode on? I do every Friday at 5, I do a happy hour episode just to keep it really fun. So I showed people how to make a Paloma cocktail with whatever club soda and juice they had in the house, and tequila or vodka. But I made little party bites using scraps of veggies I had. I made little mini sweet potato toasts out of these tiny sweet potatoes I had. And then I did a black bean mash and I put it on top with some like cheese and like cilantro. And I did them in the toaster oven. But my whole vibe was like, if you guys join me, I really hope you do, and say hi. Be like, hey, I met you through Lisa from Hip New Jersey. I figure Fridays, you know, we're all stuck in the house and it's a stressful time, but I think if we can find the small joys and have a good time. I actually showered and put on a dress on Friday and was like, okay guys, let's have a party, a little quarantine party, you know.
I love that. I love that. Well, Julie, this was so great. Thank you so, so much.
Thanks
And
for
I look
having
forward to
me.
watching more Quarantine Kitchen because I definitely need ideas. And this put me on the right path. So thank you.
Well, if I see Hip New Jersey pop up with a question, you know I'm going to answer it. I take the questions live because I can see them streaming, you know. So if
Oh,
you say
that's
to me like,
awesome. Okay.
yes, if you're like anybody out there watching, if you guys are like, Julie, I've got kidney beans, a hamburger, and I don't know what, a hot dog. What can I make? I'll try to come up with some way that you can combine them into something fun.
Oh, that's so, so cool. All right. Well, make sure to tag Hip New Jersey too. So we're made aware of when you go live.
Oh, definitely. Sure. Monday, Wednesday, Friday, 5 p.m. EST, and it's at Cooking W Julie everywhere.
Awesome. All
And I'll
right.
tag you guys too. And Lisa,
Yeah.
be well. Thank you for having me today.
Yes. Please stay healthy and safe, you and your family.
Yes, everyone out there, definitely.
Yes.
Bye.
Bye.